After a wonderful sleep and hearty breakfast in Eurimbula National Park, we excitedly broke camp, eager to reach the coast and explore more of this amazing state of ours called Queensland. We had pre-booked a campsite at Eurimbula National Park, so that was our target destination for the day. As such, we set off, heading northeast towards the coast. Part of the purpose of our trip was to spend money in and support regional Queensland. This area of the country has been hit very hard by travel restrictions due to COVID-19, so this is our little small contribution to the region. To that end, we visited Agnes Waters in 1770 in this leg of our travels before we hit the sand at Eurimbula National Park. The exact same gate that was at the other end of the park. So on that basis, I think we're going the right way. But I couldn't be sure.
The old bush gate.
Together.
Hopefully we chose the right track too.
Tell me about it.
Bush gates are a pain. Put it in the wire chunk at the bottom and yoink it tight and spin it round. Then put the ring on. That one wasn't too bad.
No, it was okay. All right, let's see if we chose well. One of the many Fords.
There's a horse.
Ooh, it is. So, where's our...
Oh, there's the bush. Is that where we're going? There's a tractor here. Oh, what's going on? Do we go the wrong way? Hello. Oh, it's Curious. Hi, honey.
Curious George the horse.
Hello. Hello. It's Curious. Hello. We have apples. No. Can we get an apple? Hi. Hi.
We can get an apple, he might like
I want an apple. Get an apple, hon.
Apple? Like some apple?
You know what an apple is? Thinking about it. I'm just trying to get it. Oh. Hello.
Hi.
I'm just gonna look at that apple after we go. Just thinking about it. If you come this way, drive past the little bush hut. There's a horse at it.
Yeah, you got.
And a tractor.
You got to actually drive past the house itself.
Yes.
Oh joy, a bush gate.
Well, if we'd have gone the right way, we would have had like 3 or 4 less too.
That's true.
So we were thinking we didn't want to go in past someone's little house thing, but you have to.
For anyone who's walked along the beach in New South Wales, Queensland or Vic, chances are you would have come across Carpobrodus glossescens, or more commonly known as pig face. We grabbed a feed of fish and chips at Agnes Waters and enjoyed that out on the beach. Stunning location. Not long after that, we headed north to 1770 and went for a walk on Round Hill Head. Another beautiful location that you just gotta check out if you're up in these parts. There's a small little shrine up at the headlands at 1770 for the fishermen that were lost on the Diane.
What are you doing, Ter? Oh! Jesus Lord. Terry farts in the video.
This is the camping area in Eurimbula National Park. There'd be probably a dozen sites in here, scattered along a sandy track. There isn't anything that is right on the waterfront. You're probably 100 or 200 meters back. I'd say in a time, maybe years and years and years ago, you were allowed to camp on the foreshore, but that's long gone now. Each of the sites is marked with a little camping sign just like this. And there's enough for a car. And some sites you can get a caravan in or a camper van in. But that's what the site looks like.
Here comes a thing. A boat. Bus. Something. I don't know what it is. A boat bus thing. In the water. With a load of people on board.
Jill and I are enjoying the sunset at Eurimbula. Eurimbula National Park. This is the Eurimbula Creek camping area. It's too hard. It's the E place. We're going to spend the day in the park tomorrow as well. Driving around and checking it out.
What are you doing, Ter?
I set my jacket down on a cobbler's peg plant.
While watching the sunset.
I can't believe it. Finished up our camp at Eurimbula Creek, and now we are heading towards Middle Creek camp area. We're going to drive around the park first of all, though, and have a look around, and then pull up at Middle Creek Camp. Tracks are pretty easy so far. They're hard packed sand, kind of like Fraser a little bit, just even a bit more hard packed than that even. One-way track, so if you meet up with somebody, you got to find an area where you can pull over into the bush, or they can pull over into the bush.
We're going from one campsite down that way, down the road this other way. It says road closed during wet season, impassable boggy conditions. Tears in the truck there, probably looking at the map.
So we've driven past the Middle Creek turnoff.
Middle Creek Camp, whatever, yeah.
And we are heading towards a peninsula, which is called Bustard Head. And the track has turned from a gravel road into
Sands.
a chopped up bog hole, basically. Now it's dry here at the moment,
There is.
so that's all right. But boy, oh boy, you wouldn't want to hit it in the wet.
There's giant drop-offs, and it'd be like hitting a brick wall at the end, or falling off a cliff when you go into them if it was covered in water and you couldn't see. Holy cow.
And there's diversion tracks around the deepest sections all over the place.
Some of them still have water in them and look really boggy.
So it's pretty slow going. We're probably averaging 10, 15 kilometers an hour. So our plan was to run out to Bustard Head and then back to Middle Camp for camping. We don't know whether that plan will work or not because this road is so slow going.
We'll play it by ear. Dried up bogs. The road just absolutely littered with them. Still dusty from our truck passing through. This actually reminds Terry and I of up at the Cape with the landscape. Terry just stopped us to do some videoing, and this is my launch pad out of the truck. My favorite meat ant nest. Oh goody. I'm just videoing. I can see probably dingo tracks is my guess. Just gonna show you a little bit of bull dust. It's like talcum powder. And it makes a heck of a mess.
Well, we're on the track to Bustard Head, and we came up against this. First of all, you got a nice salty swamp, and second of all, you got a locked gate. So no Bustard Head. Mangroves and salt water and four-wheel drives do not mix. So anyway, that Bustard Point or Bustard Peninsula is a bust.
It's national park, but you have to fly there.
Exactly. Well, Bustard Point was a bust, and Rod's Peninsula is a bust as well, unfortunately. And you know what? If I would have done a little bit of research beforehand, I probably would have been able to find that out. No going out to Rod's Peninsula. So we'll continue to poke along north, along the coast, see what we can find. So change of plans. We're not going to be camping at Middle Camp now. We drove out to Bustard Head to check that out, and that's where the road was blocked. So rather than backtracking all the way back through that boggy area to Middle Camp, we decided to punch along further north. We just hit Turkey Beach.
On the way to Turkey Beach, we've driven past, well, I've gone in, of course, community library called the Bookshelf. It's a container painted with book spines on the outside, and you can go in and borrow books on the inside if you're one of the locals. It's open Tuesdays and Saturdays from 9 to 12 to borrow books. And they have little shelves with Scrabble letters in there saying like each genre, horror, crime, mystery, romance, or whatever on the wall. They said, the woman said they've got enough books to do a second container. They've got another container coming, and they had me sign the guest book. It's lovely. We're at Turkey Beach.
We booked a vehicle access permit for Lilley's Beach, which is just south of Gladstone, and apparently there's some beach camping along Lilley's Beach. So that's where we're heading now. Rolling with them punches. Okay, we're going to Lilley's Beach. And this is the beach access. Do you have a vehicle permit? Yes, we do. Yes, looks pretty well used beach by the looks of things.
Big ships.
Yes, Jill likes the big ships. So it's 7 kilometers down Lilley's Beach to the camp areas, apparently. And you can see how it wouldn't be accessible in high tide, because it looks like the tide goes pretty much up to the dunes. Here we are at the end of Lilley's Beach. And there's a big ship going in to the dock. End of Lilley Beach. And Jill's been a little bit homesick here. There's big ships. There's smokestacks. There's water. Is this all kind of like Sarnia, Jill? Another ship coming into the harbor at Gladstone. This beach would be really tricky at high tide because the water comes basically up to the foredunes. This Lilley's Beach is just littered with tracks going through the foredune areas everywhere. And there's camping spots all throughout this peninsula on the island. Jill's not being completely lazy. She is swinging in a random sort of a fashion. But it is swinging, and it's cutting into her butt quite a bit too.
It is, it is. It's still fun. Still fun. And then I gotta do some rows.
Jill's doing something called a TRX row, which
I pulled the whole tree.
you do, and it hit me in the head. Was a lovely sunset. The midges are dying off, and we think the shift change is happening, and the mosquitoes are coming now. So thank you, insects. Sunset at Lilley's Beach. The wind's died off, and the sun's set behind Gladstone.
There's a pelican out in the middle of the water.
Good night, Jill.
Good night, Terry.